Hello, here we are. Only a little bit late. That's totally my fault, really. And by my fault, I mean my friend's fault.
You don't get to deflect blame.
I had a wedding reception, or wedding rehearsal, to go to yesterday. So at a place that's about an hour's drive from my house. So by the time I drove there directly after work, did the wedding stuff, and then drove home, it was like 11:30 p.m. and that's kind of too late to start a div review. So we're doing it a day late. I hope that's all right. Here we go. This is our div preview, week 5 of REL 6 and 7. Week 5. It's already week 5. Where's the time going, man? We're like almost halfway through.
And I'm stuffing my face because I didn't eat before my REL game, which I just finished, in which there were 5 deaths.
Yeah, only one of them was yours.
Yes.
And one of them was output into a not injury.
Yes. My worst good skink died.
Your worst good skink.
Which I'm not super sad about because it was my sure hands sidestep skink.
I had a game earlier today too. I played my game and then we watched yours and then we jumped into this. So I've been live for like 4.5 hours and we haven't even started yet. So prepare for sad voice me in about an hour and a half.
Womp.
So do we want to get right into things? This is not a match review week. This is a team review week. So we're going to be going over the results, all the different teams, and then some predictions for next week.
I know there were a lot of spicy dicing results this week, as I've been following in chat. So
I'm looking forward to
it should be fun going through the schedule.
Taking a look at it. We're going to start with 7, and here we are. We are now small, and this is what happened over the last week. So let's get to these predictions up so that I can see what we predicted in places. So I think this was an admin win, so it doesn't count. Yeah, Armor Furnace and Friendship is Massacre. It's just an admin win, so we can skip over that one. Although we do have a 4-0 win by the Mesozoic Mighty Man over the Orcs. That's Kakengrad versus Doof. And it's 4-0 Lizards versus Orcs, which isn't something you'd expect. With only 4 armor breaks? What the hell happened in this game?
From Doof and Cake, I heard like some mistakes that led to like a total snowball cascade failure.
But like, it's not... There were only 2 KOs sustained total by the Orcs. Like, there are only 4 armor breaks total by Kakengrad. Like, that, how is that like a massive snowball if you're not removing players?
I like that I activated my mic to shrug at the camera.
He won 4-0 while breaking armor 4 times. I don't understand how this happened. I don't get this game.
Skinks?
I mean, I guess, but still, like, unless the Orcs have tackle exists. I mean, the Lizards just held onto the ball forever, right? 68% ball possession. The Orcs just never had it. Very little SPP. We got a bunch for Cake, though. Stegosaurus Steve is going to level up, so that's cool. We'll see what he gets in a little bit. Every foul... he got ejected a whole bunch? Well, that would certainly...
Yeah, his block dice were really bad, too. 17 skulls to 16 pows. I mean, I think it was a combination of dice and mistakes, as snowbally losses often are.
Bunch of ejections would also help. So we had the...
There were 2.
Oh, right, we needed... What do we even predict there?
We predicted the Lizards, so we were right.
We also predicted the Undead for the previous one, but, I mean, that doesn't really count.
It doesn't count.
So we had Orcs versus Humans. We both predicted Orcs, and we were both wrong. With a win for the Humans, the Crawdad Zydeco Experience over the Sons of Sam. 2-1, 13 armor breaks, 11 armor breaks.
This is the second time we predicted against the Humans, and the Humans won. I feel like we need to learn a lesson here.
Yeah, we're undervaluing these Humans, I think. 7 KOs sustained versus 1 KO, 2 casualties. I mean, KOs can be just as bad in some cases if they don't come back, depending on how that happened. Let's see. He got 4 fails, 7 successes, so some of them stayed out at least for a drive, which definitely would have helped the Humans probably do like a sort of 2-1 grindy style thing if there's a bunch of Orcs out for, a chunk of a half, which I imagine helped a lot.
Yeah, the Orcs only getting 1 KO and 2 Kaz off of 10 armor breaks is a little unfortunate. You'd expect it to be The Kaz KO rate is around 50% if you combine the two, so you'd expect it more to be 5 of total. But
both teams picked up like 12 SPP though, so even like, and I don't think there's no perms, so both teams are probably pretty okay with the results of that.
The Orcs sustained 64% armor breaks, which tells some of the story there.
Yeah, that's a little aggressive for armor 9, certainly. So maybe we were right to predict the Orcs, and the dice had something to say against us there. Let's see, what did we have next? This was Wood Elf versus Lizards, and we predicted Lizards, and
it's a bye, so doesn't count.
We predicted Wood Elves, and it doesn't count.
Norse versus Nurgle, we predicted Nurgle, and the Nurgle won.
Wait, yes, sorry, I was looking at the wrong Nurgle. There we go. I do that a lot. Yeah, Nurgle did win as we predicted. So
MVP on the movement busted dirty player to get him to level is pretty much the last thing you wanted there. MVP on the wrestle Pestigore is basically perfect. So these are unfortunate.
Yeah, the wrestle one isn't bad. You always want more development on the Pestigore. Like that's a pretty easy tackle probably, right? Wrestle tackle is always good. 19 armor breaks versus 10 armor breaks. Let's see. We had 6 casualties and 4 KOs sustained. I mean, Nurgle punching Norse, I think, is what happened there for this game. So that's going to be a lot of SPP for this Nurgle team. The Norse had pretty exceptionally... well, actually, that's not terrible. I'm going to say, not very many 6s, but for the most part, 5s are good enough for you, and you got a good amount of 5s.
Yeah, it's more important to look at what they passed. It's worth noting the Norse failed 6 out of 7 tentacle rolls, so that was some frustrating times.
Oh yeah, 14%. Rotterhood, not just playing a solid Nurgle game and not rolling many dice at all. Honestly,
the Norse had sustained 66% or 63% armor breaks. Jesus,
the Nurgle block dice weren't actually that great, but it turns out it didn't matter.
I mean, it turns out the Norse were paper today.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, that happens. If the Norse are paper, it's difficult to do things as Norse, I think, and that's what happens.
Yeah, the Nurgle actually had really bad blocking dice.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
But it turns out it worked out. Archangels, so we had another Wood Elf, or another Nurgle match. This one is...
And in this one, we predicted the Wood Elves, and they did win.
Did we?
Yeah, I see Welf versus Nurgle. We predicted it.
I didn't write that one down, I guess, in my video description. Because I typed these ones all up by hand rather than copy-pasting them like normal, so I must have missed that one. So if we predicted the Wood Elves, that's good. The lineman, who's, I mean, unfortunately niggled, but also kick and dodge got MVP, so he's leveled. And an injured Pestigore, who's got Mighty Blow and Claw leveled. So he's probably picked up something also. I'll save that for when we review the teams. Or my thoughts on that. So I imagine the Nurgle did some punching. Yeah, 5 casualties sustained, 4 KOs. So a lot of development for the Nurgle, and also just punch enough elves, and it becomes easier to.
So Archangel did get two Kaz in response. It's not bad.
Yeah, just not quite enough in order to... He got some SPP out of it, but not quite enough to prevent the elves from scoring sort of whenever they want. You broke some elves, but they managed to score. I imagine they managed to score a few times before they lost too many players, and then the Nurgle couldn't recover from it. So 2-1 to the elves, as we predicted. So we're doing pretty good in this division so far.
And then Iron Master played the Necro, and I predicted Iron Master would win, and he did. So
yep. Although I
shit and die.
Wasn't this the one where we're like, we've all predicted the exact same? You have to pick something different, and I went okay and just picked the other one.
Yes, that is exactly what happened. And you were like, I know I'm wrong, and I know he's going to lose because I don't like him very much as a person. It's really personal.
Yeah, that's exactly how it went.
And then you picked Necro because you're rude. Honestly,
yeah,
it was really uncalled for.
Well, I have enough of a lead; it's fine.
Fair enough.
So we got an MVP on the lineman who's got tackle and pro, so that'll level him up, and he'll be able to pick up something there, which is kind of nice. MVP on a zombie to level him.
We actually played a friendly with this team Ironmaster and I, and we were talking about that now kick tackle pro player, and I was like, you should probably fire him. He is bloaty AF.
Kick tackle pro. Just in case the kickoff event goes wrong, you can pro it, right? That works, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you pro the kick. That's fine.
Yeah.
So let's see. 3 Kaz sustained, 2 KOs, 5 Kaz sustained, 1 death and 3 KOs. I mean, this is sort of the other extreme of Norse, right? Sometimes your Norse crumple, sometimes your Norse crumple the other team. And I feel like with 21 armor breaks, the Norse crumpled the other team pretty aggressively.
Yep. That can happen for sure.
Yeah, it looks like we just had a Norsing in this situation.
Looks like the Necro couldn't dodge, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. It depends on what those dodges were. Yeti to conquer. Actually sustained a fair number of armor breaks, but seems to have just like punched his way to victory.
Let's so after that week, I mean, I think 1 game has been played. So spoilers, the Nurgle off has already occurred. So we can't predict that one, unfortunately, because that would have been a cool one to predict. But that has already occurred. So take those 2 teams with a grain of salt as we look at the leaderboards. So the Nurgle, the Rotterhood by Galactic are on top, but they have also played 1 extra game.
Yeah, but he did lose the Nurgle off.
That's true. So he's still sort of at the top of the table, but Kakengrad, Rock Lobstrosity, Captain Bubsy are all, if any of them win their game this week, they'll jump into first place. So the top of the table is still up for grabs, certainly between those 4 teams. And then not far behind, we have Tommy Too Tall, Iron Master, Not Nylock, Archangel, Hero to Sukara are all like easily in range too. We're still early. There's a lot that can happen going forward.
For sure. Yeah, Galactic is a really good coach. He was the college champion the year Ben and I took it. And he is good. I've played him. Really solid player.
All right. So we look at the teams.
We shall.
This is the Orcs by Doof.
It is somewhat diminished.
It's less bloaty than it was.
Yes, dying makes you less bloaty on average.
Yeah, we've still got the great thrower who has become great recently with the Agi pickup, Orcs Wild. And we've got some Mork Twain is a good blitzer, and Morkel Crichton is another good blitzer.
Yeah, he's still got a killer. He's still got an incredibly annoying support piece. His Black Orcs are mostly good. One of them is still a rookie, but he's MVP ready at least.
Yeah, man, he's pretty new, isn't he?
Yes, because he lost one not too long ago,
Yeah,
and he's got 4 guard. 4 guard isn't terrible. Yeah, he's not doing too bad.
4 guard is certainly good, especially since one of them is on a movement 7 blodge stand firm piece. Like, that's a very difficult to move guard.
Oh, apparently Doof is currently playing a game, and Cormac McCarthy has leveled. If you don't take stand firm on the movement 4 piece,
3,
I'm gonna find you and club your head.
The movement 3 piece. Yeah, but he's still got a good killer. He's got a great
stand firm.
He's got a great thrower that can like also do basically ball. He's basically your ball carrier, but you can hand off to blitzers to score and stuff if you want. It's looking pretty good. Like I would be happy to have this orc team. Like the only thing you'd really like is block on this black orc so that he's not so far behind. Because right now he's gonna be behind and stay behind because it's gonna be hard to get him Kaz SPP when you're gonna be wanting to want to be blocking with all the other orcs first. Maybe and you don't have much of you don't have really any line fodder, but that's fine. Like you've got your 3 line orcs, but the problem is 2 of them are leveled, so like they have some value to you. But I mean, I guess it doesn't matter too much. Who cares really? If you lose a dirty player line orc, you can get another one pretty quickly. The strength one would be a loss, but I mean it's better you lose him than like a black orc or something. I mean maybe not. He's like kind of a better black orc right now. Maybe you just throw a black orc on the line instead.
Yeah, black orc TDs, movement 4 TDs, easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Yeah, the hardest part is not getting them the ball; it's getting them to the other side of the field.
Truth. Another orc team, Sons of Sam, Lord Teton.
Yeah.
Teton. It's basically a lot of mighty blow.
Yep.
He's also sustained some serious black orc attrition, but he has 2 MVPs on them, so they're both a Kaz away, which is really nice.
Yeah, but the only problem is you got to get them the Kazes, and for the most part, you're going to want to be blitzing with all those Mighty Blow guys.
Yeah, and like this looks more solid than Doof's, but more of Doof's guard rather is on his Black Orcs.
Yeah,
only one more, but still. Hopefully Ted Bundy will level soon and get guard, so you can get more of those Strength 4 guard pieces, which are really clutch.
Yep, and there's a slightly better killer in the Mighty Blow Piling on Tackle Pro, but that's a good piece, and he's close to leveling as well. Slightly less I feel like if you could pick and choose players from the two teams, you could have an amazing Orc team. Both of them have strengths. This one is slightly more killy. The other one I think is slightly more control-y, right? There's the Blodge, stand firm movement guard piece. You get the Agi thrower, right? Like they're slightly different.
Lineman. It just like has more utility pieces where Lord Teton is like, I want to kill everyone.
Yeah, and I mean he'll be good at it too.
Sometimes you just got to do what Orcs are good at, you know?
Yeah.
And then we have not Nyloc's scaled measures.
Well, Frog Jefferson is an Agi 5 skink.
Yes, he's always been an Agi 5 skink, though, so there's nothing new there.
No, but it's fun.
He needs to pick up a third reroll, or does he have leader? He does, never mind. So he's close to leveling the leader. He's close to leveling the block guard for stand firm or break tackle. Sharp toe dolphin noise should probably get fired. You can replace him now.
Has he run into any of the Nurgle yet? No, he hasn't.
You don't really want a Niggled Saurus beating up SPP.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Is you've got 2 Niggled Saurus and 1 armor busted Saurus, and you haven't gone up against the Claw Mighty Blow yet. Those Niggled pieces against Claw Mighty Blow are like delicious candy.
Yeah.
They are going to target
42% of the time he's hitting you with +2 on the injury dice.
Yeah.
Does not seem good.
Yeah, Sharp Toe Dolphin Noise and Yellow are like delicious candy to those Claw Mighty Blow pieces. They're going to be targeted so hard by those Nurgle teams when you get into contact with them. Until then, though, they're still pretty good, honestly. Turns out Armor 9 is nice, especially when you have like block, break, tackle plus strength. They're difficult to replace is the problem, right? Because they're good pieces. But it's like the problem is they're huge. Like if you probably want to replace them before you go up against the teams that are likely to murder them, because you will lose in those matchups if you go down Saurus.
Yeah.
And you're gonna go down Saurus if they're niggled against Claw Mighty Blow.
Hear me out. It's not that they're so bad you need to fire them. It's that you have 3 of them, which means at any given moment your team could implode, and you want to be rebuilding one at a time. You don't want to be in a situation where your 2 niggled players die in the same game, and then you're down 2 Saurus and have to play with 2 rookies.
Yeah.
It's much better to start the cycle yourself so that you are starting to replace these players than to be in a situation where you're 1600 TV and you have 3 rookie Saurus. Like, you're just going to lose every game.
Yeah, and my thing is that if it does implode, it's likely to implode in like one game, right? You will just like the game that you run into the Mighty Blow Claw are the people that are capable of taking advantage of your niggled players. You're going to lose both those niggled players, and then you'll be playing against a bash team with 4 Saurus, and therefore you lose that game, right? It's like you'll just lose. It's not even about like the team imploding. It's having those players against teams that are designed to kill you are just a liability, and you will lose that game because of them. And like a rookie one might even just be better. But it's yeah, like you said, I think starting to cycle through them would be nice. The problem is like they're all really close to leveling, especially Sharp Toe Dolphin Noise. So, but I mean, I guess you do it now before it gets worse, right? Before you want to keep them, take them outside and say goodbye to Lassie.
Not even gonna make a glue factory joke, just like straight gun to the back of the head.
Yeah.
All right.
It's my Saurus paw. I'll do it.
And then we have the Rotterhood, who got brutalized in the Nurgle-off. Oh my god, poor Galactic.
I know the feeling,
He's got
man.
An busted plus Agi plus movement Pestigore. Regen fake skill. That must have hurt.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Galactic. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, oh god, that armor busted plus Agi plus movement is so bad.
And movement bust is basically dead on Pestigores because they are your fastest pieces.
Block Mighty Blow is so unfortunate to lose, especially when you don't have another one. as a Pestigor.
Movement bust on his fucking guard. Oh god. Oh, it's so brutal. I can't watch.
Yeah, this hurt. At least all your Nurgle warriors are intact, and the Nurgle warriors are good. And you have the Beast of Nurgle, and the Beast of Nurgle is good. The problem is you don't really have a replacement for these rot Pestigors. Right, like you lost your ball. Like he's not dead, but he's like I'd probably keep the armor busted one because he's a good ball carrier. And if your ball carrier is getting like punched all the time, you're playing wrong. So the armor bust isn't as relevant. But that movement busted Pestigor is dead. So that's unfortunate because he's, block Mighty Blow. He's like one of your killer blitzers, and he's about to level to get block Mighty Blow Claw, probably. Although your other one, your Mighty Blow Claw guy, isn't far off, so you can replace him without too much difficulty. Like, I don't think this is as bad as it looks, but it sucks, man. I've been here. I'm still here. It sucks and it's unfortunate, but it's not you're not too far away from being okay. Your next game might be rough because you'll have 2 Pestigors, and neither of them are good ball carriers. But after that, as long as you survive that game, I think you're still in okay shape. You probably want to get rid of the Rot Fighter Pestigor. I mean, you can even fire him now and buy a new one, and then try to level him in your next game. But the Nurgle warriors are still good. Like 3 block, 1 guard. You'd like a bit more guard, and the fact that this guy is movement busted sucks. But you'll get there, certainly. You're pretty close to getting some more. Your next game is going to be rough, but after that, I think your Galactic's okay. Certainly, I don't think this team isn't ruined. The fact that you still have the Beast is really good. Mostly, like losing a Beast when it's like one of your only guard, like your key pieces, is really bad. Like that happened to me. Shall we look at Archangel's Will? You are eating, so I will look at Archangel's Will. At a pending level and a catcher, so I wonder what's going on there. I mean, he's already movement 9, Nerves of Steel, block, Shore Feet, so he's already really good. It's probably just likely deciding what he takes.
I wouldn't hate... He's already got catch. I wouldn't hate Sure Hands, but he's not the carrier, so it doesn't really make sense to give him Sure Hands.
His options are general or agility. Sidestep, I guess.
Sidestep, yeah.
I'd probably take Sidestep if it wasn't a double or like a stat, and if it's a double, your options are a lot more...
Iron Adept is saying that this is doubles.
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 I think you still take Sidestep.
You could take Leader.
But
it's a double. Double leaders are not as good.
No, and like
he's got a thrower which could pick up Leader.
Yeah, it's not a good use of TV, I don't think. And like this guy's more likely to get hit or targeted, and then you might lose your reroll. Especially
you can give him guard, and I think guard makes a lot of sense on a team with only one, especially one that's niggled. But the problem with guard is that this piece has a purpose, and it's not getting punched in the face while being a support piece. But I guess his role would just be different on offense and defense. Yeah, I think it's still guard. I think it's pixel huggy to not give him guard.
Yeah, I guess that's true. If he was movement 10, I would never give him guard because you never want him to get hit because you will win games on the back of easy 1-turns. But since he's not movement 10, I think you're right in that it's pixel huggy to not give him guard. Like it'll help you win on defense, certainly. And
it's more relevant than sidestep.
Yeah.
Like sidestep is just not that important.
The only problem is he is going to get punched, and that sucks if you lose him. But the guard is really valuable, so I think guard is still the way to go. Honestly, if with the caveat being if he was movement 10, I don't think I would take guard. I would take like sidestep, and then he would be a dedicated 1-turner. Let's see. Other than that, we've got 2 Mighty Blow War Dancers, because why not? One of them is Strip Ball Tackle Mighty Blow, and the other one is Sidestep Mighty Blow Tackle, so both of these guys are awful, and I don't want to play this team go away.
I mean, it makes the 1-turn slightly easier to have Sidestep, but you're playing Wood Elves. Like, getting 1 push is really not that much of a struggle, and you could get, like, a couple of pushes very easily. He's about to have a grab tree that'll make any sort of, like... Yeah, I mean, I don't think you need Sidestep for 1-turning. Honestly, if you had movement 10, I wouldn't hate like Leap or something like that to get over the wall easier.
Yeah, that might not be bad either. But I think with doubles, you probably take guard
In
in
this,
situation.
yeah, we're talking about like fiction. Like Nameless gets guard here, I think. Anyway, it's a good team. A bunch of rookie catchers, but those level up really fast.
Rookie thrower.
Both war dancers are mighty blowers.
And then a bunch of linemen who are mostly just sort of what you do with Wood Elf linemen. You know, take block or dodge or wrestle in some combination. One of them gets kick. If you get doubles, you take guard. And we've got one of those. So, perfect. We've got the kick one is also the wrestle one, which is kind of neat. But then, like, this team is that catcher and those war dancers. Like, just, man, you could win games with this team with those war dancers, that catcher, and a whole bunch of rookie linemen. Like, those players are just so good.
Yep. No, it's a really good team.
We got Ironmaster and his Norse, Yeti to Conquer. Missed next game on the thrower, unfortunately.
It's true, and that's a big piece to be out. His blodge plus strength, tackle, leader, thrower.
Yeah, the leader is the biggest thing because he'll be down to 2 rerolls, I think. Can't, when you stand in front of the screen, I can't see what I'm looking at.
She was very precocious earlier, too.
Yeah, I know, she really was.
He's also one of his tackle linemen. He has a AV busted dirty player who I would look to cycle, but I wouldn't fire yet.
So
Sancho the Strong is about to level up.
Two buys.
Oh yeah, if you have, I would agree with dropping. I'd consider dropping the kick too, to be honest. I don't know.
Well, yeah, two buys. You're probably going to get enough to buy 2 linemen really easily.
You're going to get way more than enough to buy 2 linemen.
I would consider. I know some people disagree with this and they think it's like cheesy or whatever, but I mean, I would take advantage of it. I would fire a couple linemen.
I would, if you have 2 buys coming out, I would fire Wayne the Wicked, Rockabs Rick,
Deadeye Dan.
I would fire Deadeye Dan, and I would consider firing Vargul the Void. Because you're almost certainly going to get enough money to buy all those back, because they're only 50k linemen. Yes, you're almost certainly going to, if not automatically. And if the SPP lands on any of those 4 players, you're going to be really sad.
Yeah.
All right, fine. Keep your tackle, pro, kick, monstrosity, 110k linemen for Arcane.
I'd fire Deadeye Dan and then like maybe 1 or 2 of the other like unskilled linos, and then just try to stack SPP from the MVPs on the better players. Speaking of better players, we've got a block Mighty Blow Claw Yeti, which is gross. He's
in our friendly. He turn 1 killed Clemendo.
He's 11 SPP from leveling, and at that point, I mean Juggernaut, I guess. Like, and you just become a Bloodthirster.
No, I think you go guard.
I don't know, man. When you already have Block Claw and Mighty Blow, Juggernaut is pretty damn good.
It's still risky to blitz with him. It's something you do when you're safe, but you never do when the blitz is important, because you never want to lose it to that wild animal. Yeah, see, he is getting guard. See?
No balls. I mean, it makes sense because you only have 1 guard elsewhere, honestly. But Juggernaut is so good. We only have 1 guard on Ulf, so it's a strength 4 guard, which is good. And he's also got Block Mighty Blow, and then we've got Block Mighty Blow. And the other Ulf will probably get guard when he levels as well. The throw is really good. We talked about him, but he's missed next game. And then we've got Drax Pavement Pounder, who is a monstrosity, as has been discussed, and he will continue to be a monstrosity until he gets another 100 SPP and picks up whatever else he's going to get at Legend.
The Mighty Blow piling on tackle, pro, dauntless, berserker is pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, what do you even...
All right,
like,
cunning Fox Pup.
Yeah. And the Werewolf of Wall Street. This team took a bunch of hits.
Down their best flesh golem with just an MNG, so that's good. Not playing the golem tax despite the the werewolves are average, as we say literally every time we look at this.
Yep, werewolves are. I mean, yeah, they're average werewolves, but it turns out average werewolves are really good.
Yep. The double plus movement ghoul died, I think is what Iron Master did. Yeah, the movement 9 ghoul died.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Because he thought it. Yeah, I think he thought it was the niggled ghoul and accidentally hit it, and then it exploded.
Well, we still have Fast McDodgy guy, who's a blodge guard ghoul, but also niggled. So, really good piece, but also an SPP pinata for somebody with Mighty Blow and Tackle. And we've got Murder Tackle's good. Who's a good blitzing white. And then Dead Guy makes you dead. Certainly does not make people dead because he has no SPP and no killing skills. So he has
2 SPP. He's made one person cast at least.
Yeah, but he's not makes you dead. He has not made anybody dead.
That's true.
Misappropriate names, unappropriate names. Do it right.
Pretty good looking zombies. Got a couple of block ones. Got a
super annoying
player one and a wrestle kick one.
Yeah, they're all. It's like it's a good team. Like it's basically standard middle of the road. It's not anything disgusting, but the players you have are certainly solid. It's a little unfortunate that presumably like this one white doesn't have a lot. You'd probably like him to pick up guard, and the fact that you're missing, you just lost one of your good ghouls is also unfortunate. But like these werewolves are solid players. The one white who's good is a solid player. Flesh golems are solid players. Like there's nothing crazy here, but it's just like a solid like.
Yeah, and like if he levels up Deadeye, makes you dead, and gets guard, and standing not moving much and gets guard, he'll be in a lot better place in the pitch control game. Though his next game without his best flesh golem is going to be a little rough unless he's got a buy.
Yeah, it'll reduce his guard a lot because all he'll have is just on the one ghoul, and that ghoul is risky. Yeah.
Next up, we have Rotting Snatches, who murderated Galactic.
Yeah, and this is
Nurgle.
Yep, and they are becoming Nurgle, right? 1780 Nurgle, so we're getting into that scary territory. And we've certainly got some scary players here with the Mighty Blow Claw plus Strength. Doesn't even have block yet.
Yeah, this is the all apple pies Papa Owls Express. He's got both players.
Yep.
And prays he doesn't get 1 in 9s. I mean, he's about to get a level on Broken Bullet Tooth Tony because apparently he just prints SPP. So that will get him block, I imagine, and then guard. Or block and then tentacles, I think. You get block before tentacles, I think.
I don't know, man. Plus strength, I would probably take tentacles.
Yeah, but you can just 1-die. I mean, it's scary because he has Mighty Blow Claw, but you'd still probably just 1-die that or red die it even.
I don't know, man. It's one red dying uphill. Like uphilling against Mighty Blow Claw is terrifying.
I mean, it's not it's likely to work.
If you're willing to dedicate a reroll to it, I guess. But then again, like you get the Nurgle thing where you're just happy for your opponent to waste their rerolls because then they're gonna get like foul appearance or whatever, and then they won't be able to accomplish anything.
So it is a 57. It's a 58% without a reroll. It's an 85% with one, including the 2+ for really ugly.
It depends on who you're playing next, honestly. If you're playing like a faster team, I'd probably take Tentacles.
Yeah, all right, I can see the argument for that. Though it's going to be a long way before he gets level 6, but he has Claw Mighty Blow, so not that long.
Nope.
And he will probably get there if he doesn't die. I don't like block diving tackle on Nurgle Warriors.
I don't like putting Nurgle Warriors on the floor.
Yeah, firm agree.
It's good because it helps control the pitch on a team where it's so like, look at it, like Broken Bullet Tooth Tony is level 3 or level 4, sorry. And we've just talked about his next 2 levels and neither of them are tackle. Like he's not going to get tackle until level 7. Like he won't have tackle until legend. Like that's dumb. That's what Nurgle is like, right? You generally don't get tackle until your 3rd or 4th skill.
He's got tackle on the plus Agi Niggles guy.
Yeah, it's only 1 though, right? Like it's one of the problems with Nurgle is that there's so many other skills you need to pick up.
Tackle and sure hands on the same player.
It's difficult to get tackle places, so like I see the argument for diving tackle because you kind of need something. But I think it's better on a Chaos Warrior because they have the movement 5 and like Edgy 3.
Yeah, Toxoplasmosis Tommy bothers me.
Block.
I think we've talked about him before.
Tackle, sure hands, niggle. Ugh. The tackle is a little weird, especially like if it was before the Agi, I'd understand that. But since you got it after the Agi, like you just instantly dedicate him to being your ball carrier, and like I feel like tackle isn't going to be that useful while you're ball carrying. But like it's like I said, sometimes you have to do that on Nurgle because you don't get tackle anywhere. Like I've played my Nurgle team for like 3 seasons and I have 1 tackle. So you just lose against teams with dodge. It's really unfortunate. Sometimes you just need tackle and you take it where you can get it.
Yep. All right, we've talked about this team a lot. Looking pretty good.
Claw Mighty Blow piling on. full kill. Not even like I advocate for the Mighty Blow Claw block, but the Mighty Blow Claw piling on block is a thing of beauty. Like that's some aggressive dedication, and I love it.
Yeah, I also think the Nurgle Warrior should have picked up dodge. Excuse me. Blodge, guard, stand firm is really gross.
Although I've had several Nurgle coaches yell at me for my pickup. I had a block piece, and then he picked up dodge, and I've had a bunch of people tell me it's bad.
Yeah.
So
I understand their argument. It's probably like it's too slow on Nurgle, basically. It'll suck for too long. Next up, we have the Norse Unleashed. Hiroto, who has had a rough few games, is a bit of an understatement, perhaps.
There are 7 players currently available to play for this team.
7 currently players, yep, and they're not exactly the healthiest players. Block Mighty Blow, Break Tackle Ulf, a Tackle Ulf, Berserker with plus Agi and Guard, so kind of a very mobile support piece. A ball-carrying lineman who
that's good.
Has a Agi up and a movement up on top of his sure hands. So
I love that.
Obi-Wan really has gotten very lucky in that he rolled sure hands and then Agi, and then movement.
You don't need a thrower. You don't need like a runner to do the ball carrying. You just can dedicate a lineman to it, and that's awesome. And then you can use the other pieces for things that they're better at, like that runner with guard. You can utilize that guard because you're not going to be carrying the ball on him. You carry the ball on the awesome ball carrying lineman.
Yeah, he said this was the Agi team, and they have lost one of them and lost basically everything else, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Had a real rough go at it. Sorry, Hiroto.
Yeah, this team is on the brink of collapse. It has some good players, so you can recover, certainly. But the problem, like, you don't have any crazy good, like, killers or whatever, and that's the thing that Norse often want. But you have good support pieces, so, like, if you can, and some good ball carriers and stuff. So if you can survive a few games and rebuild a little bit, this team will be in a great spot. But right now, it's going to be a little tough for your next game or two, I think.
Hopefully, you get your buys in eventually. Slow has officially left, or will soon be leaving, I think.
And the same for Luke, as far as we know.
As far as we know, but Luke, he got hacked or something. His account got compromised in some way, and he was not able to access his Blood Bowl account.
Which is unfortunate, because this is a ridiculous Wood Elf team.
Yes.
So we can look at Crawdad's Zydeco experience by Rock Lobstrosity.
The one we're always underestimating.
Yeah. Wait, so Slow hasn't left yet, is what I'm hearing?
Oh, Slow played, I think, one game, but then, like, kind of disappeared again.
No, it says admin's call for Yeti to Conquer versus Armor Furnace, so...
Yeah, I think what Hiroto is saying is Slow appeared for one game, I think, earlier in the season, and actually played, yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. That's unfortunate, but oh well. I'd rather play a game than get a buy in a lot of cases. It's more fun.
And we know all the secrets iron out. We're on the admin team. So yeah, the humans. Ogre still not leveling up. He's only played 6 matches, so that's not terribly surprising. I'm also in the place where I just rebought a big guy and got lucky enough to get a couple of Kazes, so...
Me too.
You're getting there.
Me too. Except mine hasn't gotten lucky enough to get a couple of Kazes.
Right, Hiroto, because I think that was when they still weren't sure that he was like on vacation but not necessarily gone, and then just kind of ghosted.
We get some good blitzers and doing the human thing when they sort of specialize. We've got a guard stand firm one to be a good support piece. We've got the Mighty Blow tackle to be the blitzer piece, and we've got the movement frenzy to be the surf threat. And then we've got another guard piece. We'll probably get like stand firm later. Thrower being more of a ball carrying thrower with blodge. And then we've got a diving catcher, which is interesting. That's not something I would have expected, but that's kind of cool. So you have like a slightly better chance at catching. Like the thing
compensating for your Agi 3 throwing game by giving your player diving catch.
Yeah, basically. That was what I was about to say.
He's not investing in accurate on the thrower, so he's kind of using him as an all-purpose carrier, and maybe he's going to get accurate next. So
yeah, I mean he's being a ball carrier, and then if he has to throw, he can throw it at the guy who has diving catch. So even if the throw is bad, at least we have a slightly better chance of catching it. I don't know. It's kind of fun. I've never actually seen like diving catch really work, and I would like to see it work.
I've seen it work all of once. The difference between an admin win and a bye win is, I think it was admin does a win, so a 2-1 standard victory, 2 touchdowns, 1 MVP, and a concede is double MVP, double gold, and 1 touchdown, I think. So 13 SPP, but more gold.
And we have a guard lineman. Always good to pick up extra guard when you can. Guard is a good skill.
Yep. When you have 4 people with strength access only, well, 5 counting the ogre, you really want to spam the guard as humans. It helps them stay on their feet in the punching game.
And after a 4-0 victory somehow, we have the Mesozoic Mighty Men and Kakengrad and some players here. Probably some levels. Guard Croxagore.
He finally got block on Stegosaurus Steve. I don't have to yell at him anymore. Good job, Cake.
You did it.
Spinosaurus Stanley is still an abomination, but he's almost got a level, so that's fine.
Block guard?
Spinosaurus Stanley, the just tackle guy. Oh,
there are
why
2.
do you have Spinosaurus Stanley 1 and 2 on the same team? Who hurt you?
Cake is an awful person.
He is. Fuck Cake.
Yeah, so, okay. The block guard one is good. The block break tackle one is good. The block strength one is good. A couple of standard block, and then the 1 tackle who really needs block, but he's almost there, so.
Yep, he's not too far. He's 1 SCP from another guard, probably, on Tyrannosaurus Ted. Even Brachiosaurus Bill is 5 SPP away. Really, like, a lizard team that's really about to come online, I feel.
Yeah. That skink is nice.
He's got an,
block, sure hands,
he's
plus
got an
movement.
amazing skink. What are normal rolls? That skink doesn't know.
My orc now knows the pain of normal rolls. He had only rolled doubles and stats, and now he has a normal. So sad. I don't know what to...
Had to get sure hands for the Agi 5 blitzer.
He might...
Blodge blitzer.
I don't know if I'm going to take sure hands or strip ball yet.
Sure hands.
Then we got a diving tackle. Sprint or sure feet. I can never tell the difference. Sure feet.
That is sure feet.
It's just skink, but he's got an niggle, so he's dead.
Yes, he should be fired.
Mighty blow niggle stunty. Ooh. I want to play that. I want to punch it.
SPP pinatas for reals.
And then 2 side steps. But yeah, that skink should be fired.
Yep.
But other than that, the Saurus look pretty good. Other than 1 who's very close to leveling, and it's a solid lizard team, and it's getting.
Yeah, I mean,
closer.
like with a good game that gets like 2 or 3 SPP on a bunch of people, he could have stand firm on the Crocs. He could have another guard. He could have block on the tackle piece.
Yep.
Like he's really close to being gross.
And then like a mighty blow somewhere on one of those Saurus wouldn't be bad either. Like on Brachiosaurus Bill, if you can get him leveled, maybe a mighty blow would be nice. Or perhaps on Triceratops Terry and a few SPP. And then we've got Captain Bubsy and Friendship is Massacre.
Is Stat Freak Undead,
who remain stat freaks. The
block guard mummy, excellent stuff. Plus movement, break tackle guard, also excellent.
Yeah, that mummy's a blitzer now, man. Break tackle and movement 4.
Both of his whites have mighty blow. 1 has guard, 1 has plus agi, and Twilight Slaughter, the blodge agi 4 sure hands ghoul, is excellent.
It's a good ball carrier, yeah. Well, my favorite player in the league is Spike, the meme skeleton.
Spike isn't bad, but my favorite player in the league is Woo's blodge tackle Tomb Guardian.
Oh yeah, that's that too.
It's hard to compete with the blodge tackle Tomb Guardian in terms of pure meme value.
I can't remember who has it, but there's a Chaos Dwarf blocker named Boat Lord of Boats version 6. Who I think is also one of my favorite players because I like Boat Lord of Boats.
Did you see what I named my new skink?
No.
Keeping with my Vaughn naming scheme, he is T-Bone Vaughn dodges better.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I thought it was a good way to curse a player into immediately dying on a dodge.
The second Rotter named after Streaks died. Well, for the first one was Streaks, and then he died, and then I got one called Streaks but better, and then he died. And now, so I've bought a third one that is now also Streaks themed, and he is maybe Streaks will work. So I like that one.
Just ripping off Gerber.
Yeah.
Gerber. Anyway, let's look at the schedule for next week and make some predictions.
Are you sure? Armor Furnace and Yeti to Conquer. I predict Yeti to Conquer. because it's an admin's call. Werewolf of Wall Street and Archangel's Will. That's a good Wood Elf team.
Versus a Necro team, which can have troubles against
There are
Undead or Elves simply because they don't have a lot of tackle.
There are 3 though on this team, and one of them is Mighty Blow piling on tackle.
It's not Mighty Blow piling on. Oh, it is. Sorry, the white.
Yes.
My bad. I was thinking of the werewolves. So yeah, there is some serious murder potential. Both the werewolves will be serious problems for Archangel to deal with, but he does have the 2 Mighty Blow War Dancers in response.
Yep.
I like Wood Elves in this matchup, I think.
Is that enough to get Cheney? 1570. It's 210. Cheney's 220, right?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's close. That's close to Cheney. And Cheney is.
Do you want to pick the Necro again for spice, even though you hate Cunning Foxpup and think he's a bad person who kicks puppies?
He's out of Flesh Golem. 240. So that's a little much to spend money on. No, I think I want to go with the Wood Elves too, because like he's going to be down one of the guard pieces, so it's going to be a little bit harder to defend his ball against the strip ball.
He does not have sure hands, which is worth noting.
Yeah, so the lack of sure hands and the lack of or only having one guard piece means that like the ball is going to be pretty easily removed from whoever's carrying it because of the strip ball and stuff. So I think I want to go with Wood Elves. So Rotting Snatch and the Rotterhood have already played, so we can't predict that one. Norse Unleashed and Scaled Measures. So we've got Not Nilox Lizardmen. They're like with this stupid Agi Skink and the potentially about to explode Saurus. And the Norse that have no players.
No, the Norse Unleashed, isn't that
That's Hiroto Sakara.
Oh, that is Hiroto's team. My bad. Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one. What is the What are the inducements like? He's got 7 players.
That's a good point.
At 1200, so he gains 4 times
200K?
50, so 200K. So it's at 1400
So it's
versus
260.
So he gets 260. That's Cheney if he wants it, and Cheney is pretty good against lizards.
Can you get Cheney as Norse?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Yeah, Cheney is real good. Cheney is really good against lizards in particular. I was about to give this to lizards, but like Cheney actually makes a huge difference because Strength 4 and Claw, it turns out, is really good against Saurus.
You want to back our boy Hiroto?
No.
Well, I'm gonna back Hiroto because I think he's great, and I don't know why you hate him so much.
I'm gonna back. I'm gonna back Not Nylok because, like, yeah, Cheney's really good and he's gonna cause problems to the lizards, but there are like 4 Mighty Blow for the lizards. They can and there's not a whole lot of ways that the Norse are going to be able to deal with that. Like I feel like they're going to get beaten around a lot with all the linemen and stuff. I think we might see some crumpling. The niggles are a thing too. Oh man, like this isn't easy. I think this is going to come down to the first few turns, right? If the Norse can utilize Cheney in like the first 2 or 3 turns to like remove a Saurus, if they can target one of those nickeled ones, then the Norse are going to have a much better time trying to win. But if the lizards can utilize all that Mighty Blow and like pop one of the berserkers or like the movement runner or whatever, or like the ball carrying lineman or something, then it's going to be really hard for the Norse to win. I think this is a very critical early turn match. I'll stick with the lizards so that we can like do the point risky thing or whatever, right?
Yeah, I wrote that down like 10 minutes ago and then you monologued.
Okay, sure. Wood United and Sons of Sam is probably not going to happen.
No, it is almost certainly not.
Crawdad Zydeco Experience versus the Orcs. Man, so we got to stop counting out Rock Lobstrosity because he's winning games. He's in 3rd place currently, 301.
That said, humans traditionally struggle against orcs.
We said that last week, and he,
I know.
and he beat the orcs, man. I haven't watched any of his games, so maybe we should watch his game.
We'll watch this game next week, I promise.
Because we can watch that game next week. That seems good. There's a lot of guard for Doof. There's a couple good killers.
It just ended. Okay, so don't look at the schedule again because it just ended. Who do we guess?
Oh man, I think orcs have. I'm gonna go with humans because I keep guessing against Rock Lobstrosity and I keep being wrong. So I'm gonna try again a different way, and I'll probably be wrong again.
Yeah, fuck you, Doof. I'm going with the humans.
So did that just happen? Can I look? It hasn't updated yet. Hey Keldon. Let's see. Then we've got the Mesozoic Mighty Men and Friendship is Massacre. So, this is one I want to see too because we've got Kakengrad and Morally.
We've already watched Kakengrad's game though.
I know, but maybe I'll watch it if I can get a hold of it.
It was a
during
tie.
The week.
You pieces of shit.
God damn it! So both of us are wrong and no points anywhere. Yep. Oh well. So we've got the mighty. We get some stat undead against Kakengrad. It's only a 50k TV difference, right? Cake has got a full team. He does, yeah.
But this is not a good time for Cake to be fighting Undead.
No.
In a game or two, Cake would annihilate Undead just because he would have as much guard and way more stats because lizards have more stats. That's just how lizards work. Right now, they have very similar TVs, but the lizards are, aggressively somewhat outguarded. They don't really have good tools for dealing with the mummies yet. Though he does have the strength advantage. This is going to be a closer game than it would be in a handful of SVP to Cake.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be pretty close.
I think it's going to be close too. I think traditionally I would go with lizards over undead, but these undead have stats, and stats make a big difference for undead. And he's got a bunch of Mighty Blow. Mighty Blow is less useful against Armor 9, but it's good against the Skinks, but none of those Mighty Blow also have Tackle.
Mighty Blow spam does work against Saurus even. It turns out Armor 9 does break occasionally to Mighty Blow, and it can be a big problem if he gets an early Kaz, especially from a good foul and stuff like that.
Yeah, Lizards are one of those teams where your players are worth more than the average player. Going down a Line Orc or a Blitzer is bad, but it's not the end of the world. Going down a Saurus is worth a lot more because that's how you.
All right, who do you pick then?
I pick Morally.
Cool. I'm gonna pick Cake because he's my boy who I hate.
I pick Morally, so therefore Morally loses. Well, actually, I've been right. I haven't been wrong about Morally this season yet, have I? In which case,
I don't know. Am I your secretary?
Yeah, I think I've broken the curse. It's fine. Yeah, what else do you do in this show?
Look prettier than you.
Yeah, so you look pretty and you write down all the things that I say.
That is sexist. This is not the 50s.
I never said
make these jokes anymore.
I never said it had anything to do with what sex you were. I just said that you look pretty and write stuff down. You're very much a secretary.
Look, Ben, hashtag me too. It's your time is up. You can't do this anymore.
You look pretty and write down what I say.
Whatever.
Oh man. All right, so let's move on to Division 6.
Sure. This is gone.
And
utterly off the rails.
It always does. So this is the matches that have occurred in the last week for Division 6. We've got Khemri versus Orcs. I predicted the Khemri, you predicted the Orcs, and you were correct there. I'm sad because the block, dodge, tackle Tomb Guardian got MVP and is a vanity pass away from leveling again.
If only he had pass or plus edgy.
I'm sure he'd probably make the vanity pass. It's fine. Although I think 2 armor breaks for the Khemri is the story of that game, right? Khemri need to be able to punch players to win, and he got 2 armor breaks, which means he's just not going to beat Orcs.
Yeah, and the Orcs got 2 KOs, 3 Kaz. That could have been Tomb Guardians, and then that's the game right there, basically.
Yep. So not unexpected based on those results, but I had to cheer for my Khemri boys. I mean, like we said, and a Penno is the best player in the league. Like, look at him. This Tomb Guardian is a hero. He's my favorite. I love him so much.
And then we have the Fogmire Fenbeast versus the BioWare for Life. Lizards versus Vampires. We predicted the Lizards, and they won.
Unsurprisingly. 17 armor breaks versus 3. Let's see. 1 KO sustained. 7 casualties sustained, 2 deaths sustained, and 2 KOs sustained. Yeah, 14
Lizards
walks.
beat the hell out of Vampires, as they are wont to do. This Lizard team has a lot of Mighty Blow. Vampires are incredibly weak to Mighty Blow.
Yeah, look at the Lizard dice log though. Like that's a controlling Lizard game if I've ever seen one.
Yes. They rolled 2 GFIs, 3 catches, 1 pro, 2 injury, 1 wake up, and 6 pickups.
What, 35 total D6 were rolled by the Lizards that game. Like it's
yes, and 9
so
of them
few.
were armor.
That's yeah, that's ridiculous how few dice they actually rolled. That's very indicative of how like controlling the Lizards were over.
And the Vampires rolled basically only pushes.
I mean, the Lizards the Vampires rolled more of like almost any single dice than the Lizards rolled of all dice all game.
Yep. The Vampires did really well on Bloodlusts and did really well in Hypnotic Gazes, which are usually the kind of games where Vampires win. Sadly, they failed 64% of their GFIs. They passed 64% of their GFIs, passed 56% of their dodges.
Yeah, it turns out sustaining 2 KOs, 7 casualties, and 2 deaths also doesn't help, even if your bloodlusts are on point.
Pretty brutal. It just stops the self-attrition. It doesn't mean you're immune to external attrition.
Yes. So we had the Dead Wrestlers Society and Rouge's Gallery. We predicted Chorfs and it was a tie, so no points here. Eddie Guerrero, the skink, picked up MVP, and he's 1 SPP from leveling, and so is Cobalt the Second, 1 SPP from leveling.
Yep. Looks like they had pretty even ball possession. Both of them just scored in their halves, probably, and then didn't do much in the other one. The Chorfs inflicted a massive amount of damage. 4 KOs, 4 injuries, 1 kill.
Yeah.
But still were not able to score and win.
Yeah, 2 casualties sustained, and if those were, critical pieces, it turns out sometimes it's hard to like pick up the ball and score on like movement 4 pieces and stuff that are also edgy too. If those were like
the kill was a Crocs, which explains why there were only 3 bonehead rolls.
Oh, there you go. Oh, dead Crocs, that's sad.
Yep. It's real rough. I've had it happen 3 times now.
1-1. So, I mean, you'd expect the Chorf to win there, but the Lizards did well, I guess, to defend despite losing players to keep it 2-0-1-1, I imagine is what happened.
Can happen. And then we have Welfs versus Underworld, which is just the most stacked game in the world, and we predicted the What Else would win, and lo, they did.
Yep. Warpstone Troll picks up MVP, which is a good one, because 1 more MVP, and the Block Claw Tentacles Troll gets another level. Oh, dear.
Guard, probably, or stand firm.
Yeah, probably guard at that point, I think. You have Block, Claw, Mighty Blow. Take Piling On! Go for it! And we got a level up on an MVP, sorry, on the catcher. It doesn't level him, but it's close.
Looks like the Underworld got 10 breaks, but 1 KO, 1 Kaz, so just really unlucky the injury rolls, especially as some of those would be with Mighty Blow.
Well, one death, 2 casualties, and 1 KO is what they sustained for foul targets.
Oh, so yeah, he dodged or GFI'd to death. And dodge or GFI'd to Kaz. Oh, wait, no, it counts deaths twice as Kaz. So yeah, never mind.
2 KOs and a Kaz sustained for the QB squad, but 1 interception sustained, so foul targets were intercepted during a pass by like a goblin or something, which I think is really funny. Who got the interception? Andy Dalton. I don't know what player that is, but we'll find out when we get there. Andy Dalton is the one who got the intercept because of one SPP. It might have been a vanity pass or something, but.
And then we have Economy of Scale versus Respectable Gents. I predict the Lizards, you predict Chaos, and I won again.
You're catching up.
3. How does it feel? How does it taste?
Well, we're going to be even for next week, I guess. Back into it. We're going to level up this AV6 skink, which is unfortunate. I mean, he's Blodge Step, which is nice, but he's also AV6, which is kind of scary. Straight up 1-0. Oh, that's... And I feel like this might have been either a mistake on behalf of the Chaos or like a lucky play on behalf of the Lizards, because they won 1-0 and they barely had control of the ball ever. They sustained 2 casualties, 2 KOs. Like, the Chaos had the ball for 81% of the game. Like,
yeah, damn.
Like, that's I very much feel like Chaos made a mistake, or maybe and dropped the ball, and the Lizards took advantage of it and scored really quickly, or maybe the Lizards got like a lucky play or something, because they won 1-0 and the Chaos had the ball like the entire game. So I can't imagine this was a game that the Lizards were in control of, and over the Chaos anyway.
Yep, his Blodge Skink leveled up, but also got AV busted. That's probably a fire, unfortunately.
An Intercept is 2, so it wasn't the one I thought, but oh well. Let's see. 10 SPP for Fraud, and that's it. So Fraud the Skink got an MVP, the touchdown, and a Kaz, I guess.
So Dranar is saying Lizards had a really strong defense. Chaos didn't push scoring threats far enough.
Okay.
So they just didn't get in.
Yeah, so I'm a mistake by the Chaos, right? Is what I...
Yeah, it also looks like the Lizards did not fall apart to blocks. Like, there were only 2 KOs, 2 Kaz, I think. Okay. So
that helps.
The Lizards were able to not implode to Chaos. This is the Chaos with all the plus movement, I think. Yeah. So that's not...
unsurprising.
It's not as deadly.
And we have...
It has 0 Claw. Yeah, it's 0 Claw and 2 Mighty Blow, so they don't really have the tools for dealing with Lizards yet.
And again, you predicted Dwarves, and I predicted Wood Elves, and you were correct.
Oh, God. I saw the start of this match. Or my stays. I just got... Like, in 2 turns, everything went to shit, and he lost. Like, it was over.
I feel like... I was wrong on a lot of these predictions, but I feel like a lot of them were nonsense. Reasons for loses. Lord Dorf the Blitzer levels up with an MVP, and Silicon the Tree is now 2 SPP from gaining a 2nd level, which is nice because he's already got grab, so he could pick up guard, or maybe for lucky block or something. 2 armor breaks, 17 armor breaks. I want to see. Let's see. 7 like KOs sustained, 1 casualty sustained.
Yeah, like my stay snaked 3 really critical things in 3 turns, and then was just in a position where he was in base contact with every dwarf, and the dwarfs just beat the ever-living hell out of him.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
They only KO'd him. Luckily, he sustained 0 injuries and 0 deaths.
That can happen with dwarves, though. If you end up in a bit like...
he sustained 1 injury because of a dodge or a GFI or something.
If you you can like, you just outspeed them for the most part, and as long as you can like sort of outposition them, you can win pretty easily, and there's not much they can do about it. But if you ever end up in a position where the dwarves are just sort of basing you 1-for-1 and dwarfing you to death, then you are going to lose. And 3 snakes in a row will certainly accomplish that. So, like, to be fair, if there weren't 3 snakes in a row, maybe this wouldn't have gone this way. Like, come on, like, give me a break on my predictions here.
Nope, you suck, and I win.
Fair enough. Average Rice Joes and the Great Cold Ones. So we predicted...
We both predicted Norse, and we were both wrong.
We
had briefly split it. I had written a J in front of Norse, so that means you considered going with the Lizards, but you didn't. So.
Oh well.
Although this was also Eyes and Mike getting utterly diced, as I heard.
We are very we're very bad. Right? Me in particular is very bad at predictions this week.
There was some complaining about this game I saw in REL chat. So.
Well, 2-0. We've got 3 casualties sustained, 4 KOs sustained versus 1 casualty, 1 death, 3 KOs. Let's see. Average Race Joes had some like reasonable dice. 28 skulls to 19 pals certainly doesn't help. 33 ones to 19 sixes and 25 fives does not help either.
I see at least 2 double skulls.
66% big. I got my very first penta skull earlier today. I rolled a 3-die block against a goblin and got trip skulls, which I've never seen before in reality. And then I re-rolled it and got 2 skulls and a push. I almost had the hexa skull. I wouldn't have even been mad. That would have been amazing. I've never seen hexa skulls in reality before, like in a game that I've been physically watching. And I almost got it.
My stays is taking offense with your description of this as a dicing compared to his game.
I didn't even look at his dice. Well, and we just said that you said that it was a dicing, so I wanted to look at the dice.
I heard some complaining. I don't know. Yeah, it's true.
To 20.
My saves rolled
16 skulls and 2 pounds. I'm sorry, man, but that's funny. That's funny after the fact. I would have been really annoyed during the game, but holy crap, that's a thing, man.
I agree, Average Rise. It doesn't look like you got that dice. It looks like, but I mean, like, it's hard to tell sometimes when things just go to shit.
Yeah,
like, if you fail a couple of critical things.
Yeah, it's also the variance in a lot of cases, right? Like, if you fail a couple things, like I played a game recently where I failed like 5 of 6 GFIs in the first half, and that was really bad. Like, that's 5 ones of 6 rolls, and it caused me to be so far behind that by the time I got to the second half, like, even when I started passing GFIs and then the dice sort of evened out in the long run, it didn't help anymore, right? Because I was already too far behind. And
yeah, I mean, in this game tonight, I failed 3 out of 4 GFIs in a row. I think I snaked the first D6 roll I made, and then I failed the second one I made.
Yeah, I mean, I snaked a GFI, and then the next turn I snaked another GFI with the same player, and both times he knocked himself out on the floor despite being a dwarf. Or stunned himself on the floor despite being a dwarf.
That's great.
So, like, the dice, like, just looking at the straight up numbers of dice don't always tell the whole story, right? If, like, there's a difference between getting a whole bunch of bad dice at one point and a whole bunch of good dice at one point, and that sort of evens out into normal dice versus just having normal dice. If you get what I'm saying, because if you get a bunch of critical, like, bad failures at certain points, it can cause you to straight up lose games, like what happened to my stays, basically, 3 snakes at the start, and you just kind of lose, even if the dice rolls do end up evening out at the end of the game.
Yep. So let's start with the teams: Dead Wrestler Society and Dranar, probably. We have Big John Stud, who is the new Croxagore. 0 matches played, unfortunately, as the old one died. Niggled plus Strength Mighty Blow guy. I don't know if the Niggle must not be new, because or it might be new, because we haven't looked at the teams in 2 weeks. I don't remember if he was Niggled before.
Do you not have Road Warrior Animal? You just have Road Warrior Hawk? Where's Animal, man? Did he die?
MNG on the block, guard, break, tackle, unfortunately.
Oh, wait. Are these actually all... Oh, these are all actually dead wrestlers. Is Road Warrior not dead? Is Road Warrior Animal not dead? I need to Google this now.
Do you?
Yeah,
do you need to?
I do.
The movement bust on the Lodge tackle blitzer is unfortunate.
Yeah, he's still alive. That's why he's not there.
I see. Good to know. This is a team that loves its break tackle. We also have the Umaga break tackle, mighty blow blitzer. Hard to pin down. He's Dr. Robert, but without plus strength. Eddie Guerrero, is jump up, diving tackle skink, which seems fitting for that character. AV busted plus Agi, and then a billion normals.
Oh
skink.
Man, that skink is man. I want to punch that skink with mighty blow really hard.
Yeah, that's a hard skink. He was really hoping he'd roll a double at some point.
I mean, Agi 4 is good, but no doubles and stunty AV6 is terrifying.
Yep. Whatever. Rox is invincible, so maybe this one will be too.
Yeah, some mostly just normal skinks than the Agi. And the Saurus are pretty developed, though, which is certainly nice. Another lizard team?
I love lizard teams.
Fuck.
Rolling Red. Yes, the double frenzy plus Avisaurus.
One of them has pro. The frenzy and pro.
I know.
Oh man, I love it. I love teams that are weird. It's awesome. Those are two Saurus with dodge first, by the way.
They are, but they have blodge, so I can't shit on them anymore. Yep. He also took sidestep as a double, which is interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
I think I'd skip a second double on a Saurus. There's no double that I want as a second skill that is worth it.
I think guard might have been better there than sidestep.
Yeah, it's just not. The sidestep isn't worth it, I don't think.
Guard is the guard is nice. The plus armor I don't think is really worth it either.
No, I mean, every time we click on this team, it is taunting me.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up is nice. Mighty Blow piling on Saurus is kind of funny. You don't necessarily want your Saurus on the ground, but
You certainly don't want your AV8 Saurus on the ground.
That's true. The Blodge Skink is a good one, and the fact that you don't have a whole lot of SPP on Skinks at all means this, like, despite some of the weird levels, at least the levels are on Saurus rather than on Skinks, so you're not wasting a bunch of TV on like easily replaceable or killable players.
Yep, he's had to replace his Croxagore recently, as it only has 1 match played, so Dwarf Pube the Great is new. Good looking, well, certainly very developed Saurus. Not how I would have developed them, but he certainly has a unique style for them. Like lots of pitch control, frenzy, Mighty Blow tackle pieces to kind of scare people away.
Yeah, it's
Mighty Blow piling on to cause some attrition. Not a lot of guard, not a lot of pitch control in that sense, in the standing there and being in the way sense, but certainly in the threat sense.
Yeah, in the pushing people where you want them and keeping them there sort of sense, and then like opening up the field to do what you want with your high movement Skinks. You can play it that way, right? Open big. It's a lot easier to open holes when you have the sort of frenzy available to push people more than one space out of the way, and then you can utilize that movement 8 a lot easier. The best Khemri team in the universe, Hufflepuff Heroes, with the 1 SPP away from leveling Block, Dodge, Tackle Tomb Guardian, and the 2 totally rookie Tomb Guardians. It's like, you've got 6 levels to spread out between your 4 Tomb Guardians. Put all 6 of them on 2 guys and give one of them Lodge and Tackle. Oh man, I love this team. I love this team so much.
It brings us such joy.
Yeah, 2 really good Blitzraws. I mean, you take Agi wherever you can get it, and then other than that, it's, Mighty Blow and Tackle. We got a Throw-Ra who's a good ball carrier with Blodge, and the movement 6 because Throw-Ra. And then we've got another good ball carrier in the Skeleton who is Sure Hands plus Agi and block. 1 less movement, but Agi 3 Sure Hands, kind of totally negates one of the biggest weaknesses Khemri have in picking up the ball.
Yep, it does really help. It helped them a lot in the Dwarf Rain off. And
yeah, that was fun. We watched this team play Dwarves in the rain, and neither team ever failed to pick up.
Which was the most disappointing thing about the match, and that was it, because everything else about the match was amazing, including the fact that we got to say it's a good thing this Tomb Guardian has tackle to deal with this dodge.
Yeah, this Tomb Guardian having tackle is very helpful to deal with all this blodge dwarf. Man, that was an amazing game to watch. But the funniest thing is that we're like, oh man, dwarfs versus Khemri in the rain. No one's going to be able to ever pick up the ball, and then nobody failed.
Yeah, they just tied 1-1.
Beautiful. Strength Skeleton is kind of fun too. I mean, it's a little bloaty, but more strength than a team that already has a lot of strength can only be good, really, right? It's just taking the thing you're good at and becoming better at it.
I can see Emily's head.
Oh no,
it's gone.
I think she's going to bed.
Good night, Emily.
BioWare for Life and Dire Sickfish. We got a Vamp team that was kind of thoroughly thrashed last week
by the Lizards.
Yeah, there's a Vamp who's MNG'd. There's a Thrall who's movement busted. There's a Thrall who's MNG'd. So we're going into the next game with three Vamps and 7 Thralls.
No bench.
So
1, 2,
0
3,
bench.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, even with 1 loner.
Yeah, but we have 200k, so I mean you could afford 2 Thralls easily, and I would recommend you do so, because Vamps without a bench really, really sucks. You have 5 rerolls, which is also kind of insane, especially with only 3.
No, 5 rerolls with 4 Vamps makes a lot of sense. I
mean, I guess
Vamps plus 1 is the rule.
I mean, most people I've seen play Vamps do just the number of Vamps, like they just do 4 for 4 Vamps.
All right, if it's a little bloaty, sure, it's not insane.
It's a little insane when you have 3 Vamps, but I mean, it's only a miss next game, so you can't really make that argument, I guess. So he's gonna have 5 rerolls for 3 Vamps, but he's gonna also go up to 1480 when he gets the loner. I would recommend going up to 1520 by buying 2 Thralls.
I would buy 3 Thralls even. You can fire them afterwards, but you've got a bunch of dirty players. You're gonna want to foul.
Depends
on who you're up against. But like I would consider very carefully how I spend this 200k.
Yeah, it depends on who you go up against, certainly too. But like only 3 vamps and no bench is going to make your next game very hard. The good news is all his vamps now have block, and one of them has blodge. So you're getting to the point where you can start thinking about dropping that 5th reroll, because you don't have to spend rerolls on like block skills as much anymore. Like I wouldn't say now, but soon, like in a couple levels, because you're mostly going to be using those rerolls for bloodlusts or hypnogazes at this point, instead of having to use them to reroll blocks and dodges when none of your vamps have those reliability skills. Now they're all starting to get them, so it's a bit more reliable, which is nice. Your biggest weakness going into this next game is the no bench, right? As soon as you go down a thrall, like you're just going to start death spiraling, because you self attrition as well as take attrition from the other team when you play vampires.
Yep. And then we have Rouge's Gallery. Chorfs, 4 rerolls, still needs to drop a reroll. Mr. J, I'm calling out to you. You don't need this 70 TV.
It's a Chaos Dwarf with horns.
It is.
I love him.
It looks great.
I love
He's
him.
A beautiful man. Turtle has beautiful symmetrical horns and spiky hands. All the doubles. And he's niggled.
Yeah, I know. You don't get rid of him, man. That is a Mighty Blow Claw piling on a Horns Chaos. I've never seen a Horns Chaos Dwarf. Because what are the chances that you get 2 doubles, right? Oh, man. Because you got to take Claw first. But Horns, that's amazing.
Two doubles in 5 levels. I don't know. You got the stats degree. 4 levels, whatever.
That's awesome. I love it. That's such a cool player. And then we've got another Claw Mighty Blow Guard Chorf, and then another Claw Mighty Blow Guard Chorf.
Jump up is 100% better as a second level.
Oh, yeah, probably. But the Horns is awesome. Look at him. He's so cool.
Ben doesn't care, it turns out. Hush is a weird way to build a bull center, but a cool way. Kind of going for a ball sacking threat on that one. Excuse me. Anarchy the Second is a plus agi break tackle. Excuse me. Goddamn hiccups. Break tackle after plus agi, which always weirds me out a bit. Guard piece, so kind of like a mobile dodging guard support piece.
But also carrying, because agi.
Also probably carrying, yes, because I don't see a hobgoblin you'd want to carry unnecessarily. You might build Blight the Second into a carrier. Strength 4 carriers are nice, and it's cool to free up your high movement pieces.
3 guard on the dwarves that, or 4 guard on the blockers. Some of them are the Claw Mighty Blow pieces, but I mean, that's fine. Those are all really good things to have. And then Strength Hobgoblin could be a good ball carrier, as we said. Dirty Player Hobgoblin, Black Hobgoblin, all like this is a good team. None of your levels really are on the Hobgoblins, and the ones you have are useful ones. I wouldn't want to play that team.
It's very good, very good.
The Bad QB Squad by Buzzard295. We've got a
still has their amazing block Claw Mighty Blow Tentacle Stroll.
Yeah.
Love that thing.
And he's very close to leveling. 1 and more MVP.
And he's lost a Blitzer, but he still has his best one, which is Mighty Blow Claw piling on. 1 SPP.
Somebody intercepted, and I want to know who it was.
You're just going to look through until you find an intercept?
I don't know if you can find it through the... Oh, 0 successful interceptions. Yeah, I want to find it. 0.
He's only got 1 on the entire team, so when you find it, you found it. Skaven Thrower with plus movement. Always nice to have a movement 8 piece.
A standard Bortles. The Skaven lineman with horns and wrestle is the one that got the intercept.
He's the true hero we need.
Yeah, that's a really good killer in 1 Skaven Blitzer, but you only have 1 Skaven Blitzer, which is a problem.
And only 10k, so he cannot buy another one. He's got to kind of deal with what he has.
Yeah, I saw before there are 2 SPP.
Has a extra arms thrower for those handy pickups. With the sure hands, it's a great combo.
Yep, 2 pluses. It's sort of poor man's agility, really.
Yes, in the set, 2 hands and extra arms is basically plus agi on everything.
Yep. Horns wrestle as a cool like beginning sacker player. You know, if you can get like tackle as well, that would be really nice. Maybe strip ball.
Tackle, strip ball, 2 heads, but I mean he's never gonna live that long.
No, but he's a good piece to push in that direction.
Or to leave as a safety, just
yeah,
because he's movement 7.
If you want to knock over a player, even if you're not using him to like ball hawk, just using him as a safety to remove scoring threats is good. So like tackle wrestle means you're pretty likely to knock over players, and horns means for the most part you can do it without assists.
Yeah, he also has 0 tackle. He's about to get it on Dark Blake Boardless, but he certainly needs some more tackle.
Yeah, I think so.
Prehensile Tail Goblin is weird, as discussed, but cool. Kind of like a pseudo diving tackle piece. He can also get diving tackle on top of Prehensile Tail, which do work together, unlike diving tackle and the other one.
Tentacles?
Shadowing.
Okay. I thought we were talking about things like that affected dodging away. So the only thing I could think of was tentacles and prehensile tail.
Nope, shadowing also does it. Big hand Underworld Goblin for scooping up the ball in tackle zones. Always nice.
And we've got
run in and snatch it up.
Another goblin who's doing the sort of same idea, except this one is more capable of cage diving because he's stunty as well as dodge, and he's picked up the doubles to grab wrestle and a mutation with horns so that he can be sort of edgy, or strength 3 on the blitz. So he's a bit better for cage diving, and the Skaven one is a bit better for like safetying, sort of like removing scoring threats.
I also love their jaunty ass horn.
Yeah, just like one weird horn. Blanc.
Yeah, Jeff. We kind of knew. We kind of knew him having no tackle was the end of that game.
Yeah.
So.
Respectable gents and chaos time. This is the like super plus movement chaos team. They're getting there.
The plus movement tackle only piece is MNG'd. Hopefully just MNG'd.
We got a plus movement tackle dodge one too. Like so many utility skills.
What is block?
What is block? What is mighty blow? What is claw? What are mutations? Like, let's just keep rolling plus movement and doubles. Unfortunately, Alistair Conchwell, the block mighty blow one, is both niggled and 1 SPP from leveling.
He's been niggled forever.
Yeah.
Still has 4 rerolls. I understand why you would have 4 rerolls with this team, but probably don't need it at this point. You've got a good smattering of block.
Soon,
a block guard piece. I think you ditch it now.
Yeah, probably. Couple block, 1 guard. I mean, yeah, I think you ditch it now because you've got enough block, and also as a 1570 chaos team, you're going to start to run into teams that'll be able to push you around some because they'll have skills, and you don't really have the tools that chaos need at 1600, namely like super removal players, because you don't really have any of those currently. So I think dropping the reroll in the like name of saving a bit of TV is probably useful at this point, just so you can grab some more inducements against the teams that are more capable of dealing with you right now. We've got MyStays in the Elements of Style, 1790 Wood Elves. Apparently got beaten up a little bit last game by some dwarves, but I don't think he lost anybody, right? He had 1 Kaz, but nothing permanent. So we've got the natural 1-turner in Lithium, who's amazing. Blodge, step, double plus movement, double plus good, sprint, and sure feet. Like, that's such a good catcher. Two guard pieces, one on alignment with kick. Means that your kick guy is probably going to die at some point, but that's fine. You can always get a new kick. Utilize the guard whenever you can get it. We've got a support catcher with guard, block, and sidestep, so he's going to be surprisingly annoying to remove despite being strength 2. He's also guard. Niggled catcher is... Man, it's always scary having
Blodge
niggles.
step diving tackle. I mean, he's going to die, but he's super useful in the meantime.
Yeah, Blodge step, it's like all these catchers are good, and they're all good for different reasons, right? We've got the
catcher is basically a plus agi version of a skink with Blodge step diving tackle, as it is stunty, or niggle is basically stunty, except a little niggle is a bit worse. So yeah, I mean, he's useful. You keep it.
No Apo, right? He's certainly good, and they're all good for different reasons, right? You've got the 1-turner, you've got the guard piece, who's a good support one, and then you've got the annoying like diving tackle piece to mark up people on defense and stuff. Let's see, where are the word answers? They're in different orders, but that's fine. We've got a strip ball tackle one, so the sort of standard ball removal word answer, and we've got a tackle plus movement one, so he's probably sort of along the same lines eventually. For now, he's more of a blitzer rather than a cage diver, but the plus movement makes him a very dangerous blitzer. You really hope for, I think, Mighty Blow on this player if you get a chance. That would be lovely to pick up.
Yeah, you really want to pump some SVP into Chlorine. At plus movement, that shouldn't be too hard. If he gets normals again, sidestep maybe, but you're really hoping you have for like a double or a stat.
Yeah, you could also double up on the strip ball and just have 2.
You could.
If your strip ball guy gets knocked out in some matchups, it can be hard to defend well, as we've seen a bunch of times. So sometimes redundancy is nice. 4th catcher plus strength wrestle leap. Oh, that would have been a really good catcher.
Man, you have disgusting catchers and very dead war dancers.
Grab tree, 2 SPP from a level. So probably guard unless we get a double or something and can pick up block. I mean, I guess multi-block is an option, but I mean, you don't see that very often. But if you're going to take it on some big guy, a tree is probably the way to go.
Yeah, there are priorities above that.
I know, but I'm just trying to think of potential skills to take, and I think the only ones really after grab are guard. But I mean, you could go multi-block, I guess, but I think I would take guard first. Thrower with accurate, so he's doing thrower things, and then a couple linemen, wrestle, pretty standard.
Yeah, he mentioned he's going to pick up a lineman, and because he has the Chorfs next, which is going to be a very rough match.
Yeah, probably. That's a lot of tackle. They are very slow though, and you should be able to outrun them without too much difficulty. And at least
it's likely that he wins. It's also likely he sustains some deaths, possibly even the tree against that much claw money blow.
Yeah, the tree might die, sadly. A lot of your players are probably fairly safe, and at least the good news is all of his claw is mostly useless against the tree, or unless it's against the tree.
There you go. So, right side.
The bright side
all that
is
tackle,
saving some TV.
Is not worthless. All that tackle will do work.
If you buy a lineman, you give him 10k rather than getting 60k, but I don't think 60k matters really for you. I mean, that's a babe, I guess, but I think I'd rather have the lineman. Great Cold Ones by Eisenmike, Norse. Yeah, Chorfs are not a good match for the Wood Elves, but I think you'll probably win. But like Shadorra said, you might lose players. Let's see, a bunch of rookie linemen. 2 berserkers. One of them is plus Agi, Blodge Mighty Blow Tackle. So that's a nice berserker.
That is a berserker that can get anywhere and maybe even runs the ball.
We've also got another Blodge berserker because might as well have 4.
Interesting that he went Mighty Blow and not guard on Alesmith. He also has guard on Lagunitas, but double guard, Blodge plus movement runner seems pretty good to me. But he must have wanted a little bit more punching power.
It depends on when he got. We don't know when he got these levels either, right? It could have been before he got the guard or whatever.
Could have been.
Or after he got the guard.
Anyway, really nice looking team. A lot of Blodge.
Yeah.
So some of that is doubles. A lot of doubles in general. The movement is really nice to get 2 movement on your 2 runners.
What's with these Yetis? What's with these Yetis and all of them getting block? Why does every Yeti get block?
Because Yetis are really good once they get blocked, so you give them block, then it's simple.
I mean, it's likely the same thing we see with Orc throwers, in that if you don't have block by the second skill as the Yeti, you fire it and buy a new one. So the only ones that you see sticking around are the ones that keep block.
No, you let it get guard, and then you maybe consider recycling it.
2 elves, 1 with guard, both have block, which is certainly nice. 0 SPP on the lineman. Kick would probably be nice, and you'll probably pick that up on Harpoon once he levels, or maybe Dirty Player.
Kick, Dirty Player, or tackle. You're kind of in desperate need of all 3 of those things.
You do need a bit of tackle, but the
Frenzy is sort of like tackle, so there's
a lot of good players in like fairly efficient TV, I guess, because it's all sort of compact. It's less. There's a lot of doubles though, which bloats it a little bit, I suppose, but they're good doubles. I mean, Blodge is never a bad thing to have, really. And we've got average race Joes and a 3rd lizard team in this division, because that's exactly what I wanted. We've talked about them before. This is a lizard team, man. Like, this is basically, this looks like a lizard team that somebody built for a tournament. Like, it's so standard but also good, right? Things are standard for a reason.
I think that is the exact opening you use every time we look at this team.
Probably.
Blazer and Gordon Pibb are still both pretty far from level 3. You'll see some more development. You might pick up a Frenzy-saurus and a Tackle-saurus, but you're going to get Tackle on Peter LaFleur, probably, and then White Goodman might get Break Tackle. So you've got a lot of ways you can build from here. This is a good base point, and depending on what order things level in and what matchups you have, you might pick different skills. But yeah, really good. Guard stand from Crocs is really nice. Double Mighty Blowsaurus is unconventional, but is clearly working for him and now has expedited the level. You can see how these two hog all the SPP, for better or for worse. Getting them to level 4 is really nice. Level 4 Saurus are when they kind of start to be closer to being done.
Block Mighty Blow Tackle, Block Mighty Blow Guard, maybe Block Mighty Blow Break Tackle.
Yeah, things like
all
that.
All good options. Yeah, they're good, good Saurus. They're close. They're very close to being even better. But this is the Mighty Blow effect. You can see it, right? Like, look at the SPP distribution amongst these Saurus, and look at the two that are much higher than everybody else. This is why people take Mighty Blow. Helps you level a lot faster.
Yes.
Skink. It's just cool, like visual evidence. Basically, is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And yeah, like good lizard team building is super boring.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why things are standard, and it's because standard things are good, right? If it turns out it's a good way to do it, and it's a good way to get wins and stuff. It's recommended because it's a good thing to do. Bunch of there's some good skinks here too, though. We've got a block skink and an agi skink, which are both really nice. Other ones are following the sort of standard skink progression path of sidestep, sprint, diving tackle, fired in some order. So the skinks are doing skink things, and you keep the ones that end up getting doubles and stuffs. And we've got two really good ones, a block one and an agi one. So like this is it looks boring certainly, I guess, but it's a really good lizard team, and it's not one that I'd want to play against.
No, indeed.
Speaking of teams I don't want to play against, dwarfs. Especially with a piling on jump up Mighty Blow Frenzy Troll Slayer.
Yep, that is a murder machine. I think Furious Dwarf is new, yeah. So I think MyStays killed or retired a Troll Slayer at least in Retribution. I think I remember seeing that. Lord Dwarf is a disgusting blitzer plus strength blodge guard stand firm.
These are the blodge dwarves that it was handy for the Khemri Tomb Guardian to have tackle against.
Indeed. Really solid dwarf team, very dwarfy. Lots of guard, lots of Mighty Blow, lots of dodge inexplicably.
Stand firm because he's run out of other useful skills to take, and it turns out stand firm is also good, but he's got guard on everybody already.
Pretty cool to see some grab, but yeah, looking good.
Yeah,
it's dwarfy.
Mighty Blow, dodge, Mighty Blow, guard, stand firm, guard, Mighty Blow. Are we missing a ball carrying runner? Did we lose a runner? Because no, he's up top. Never mind. Block, kickoff, return, offensive runner, wrestle runner, defensive runner. This is a good dwarf team. I wouldn't want to play it. I would like to play as it. The only thing that is a little sad, I guess, is that not every single player has guard, and you had to recycle a Troll Slayer.
Yep. And then we have the fourth lizard team. Huzzah!
I'm so glad I'm not in this division. I really hate playing against lizards. And this is 4 lizard teams in one.
I guess they have 1 cheerleader and 1 coach assistant. That's
weird.
Sometimes people do that. Plus movement Croxagore is still weird, but is interesting. His piling on Mighty Blowsaurus died, as I recall, which is unfortunate, but yeah.
This is a 1400 lizard team where all of your TV is in skinks, which is not really where you want to be as a lizard team.
No, all the dead Saurus, 1 block Saurus is really, really rough.
Yeah. The Crocs you have is nice though, and he's very close to leveling. And you've got 2 block skinks. One of them is minus armor, which kind of sucks. But block skinks are really handy. Maybe you consider recycling like Khemri, I guess, because you probably want to trim some TV when you're missing this many like good Saurus. At least maybe you can scum Slibly and make up for it a little bit that way. But yeah, the Saurus levels are sorely needed. I would try pretty hard in your next few games to see if you can sneak a touchdown on supply sideline economy if you can't get him a Kaz, and see what you can do to try and buff up these Saurus a little bit, because you're gonna need some help from them going forward. Yeah, the big problem is it's going to be difficult to get levels on the Saurus, especially in this division. You're going to be behind. It's not a fresh division. You're going to be behind in TV against some other teams and stuff, and it's going to be difficult to get those levels. And you might just keep losing Saurus. It's not a good spot to be in. So, sorry, Furril. It kind of sucks, but sometimes it happens. Happens to the best of us.
Yep, and sometimes the start is a little risky, so it can come around to bite you in the ass. Fraud, the AV busted blodge step skink is a bit unfortunate too. But yeah, hopefully works out. As you have bootstraps, I would probably fire Fraud. He's going to be 130k if that's normal.
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
There you go. Foul targets. Jeff with his 4 remaining players.
8 remaining players. 3 of them are original from the original team.
Oh, he's got a plus strength lineman. That's with kick.
He's got a plus agi blodge step frenzy war dancer.
That he does.
Which is 2 SPP away from leveling and getting even more ridiculous.
Probably tackle at that point.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, he's mostly using him for surfing, I imagine, and then the sidestep is to keep you from getting surfed afterwards. So if you're surfing them, you don't really care about tackle, I guess. But I mean, his only job isn't surfing. The tackle would be useful in other places. It would just be less useful for the surfing portions.
Still pretty solid. He's got a blodge step catcher, blodge catcher. He's got the really good war dancer. He's got another war dancer who will presumably level pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna try to dump some SPP into that rookie war dancer. Although it turns out, rookie war dancers are still pretty good, but more SPP, more better on war dancers. 2 catchers. One is blodge step. One is block. Not a whole lot to talk about there, but it makes them certainly more resilient. And we've got the start of a great thrower in Ferrond.
He's strong arm away from being a perfect thrower in the sense that he makes 3+ long bombs, I think, at that point.
Can you make them 2+ with 2+ agis? Can you be agi 6 strong arm accurate? Or do long bombs always fail on a 2?
No, I think you can make them 2+. But I don't know. I've never seen it. What does Long Bomb Silver have? Long Bomb Silver, whichever he is.
Agi accurate, strong arm. Ooh, Doof! Thanks for the Twitch Prime sub. You scared me a little bit. Appreciate it. Oak Branch, the treeman, was block and grab. 2 great skills to have as a treeman. Honestly, this tree could have been plus strength. But block.
Fine. Block trees are gross.
Block is certainly the correct.
Already good enough.
Block is the correct choice, but it could have been strength 7. Strength 4 kick lineman. Once again, it's a little unfortunate you get the strength on the kick guy, but it's fine. It means he's probably less likely to get punched, and you can keep the kick around. And then we've got a block lineman, and then the rest of your linemen are going to be rookies. Because this team has been
not as strong as MyStays' Wood Elf team, but still not terrible. It's got some cool passing stuff. It's got a really good war dancer. Yeah, I mean, if you stop imploding, you're still winning games. You're just kind of imploding along the way. That's the Wood Elf way.
Yeah, I mean, you've got all the good players. You're just gonna have rookie linemen. That's fine. I mean, it's not the grossest Wood Elf team we've seen, but it's still it's still a good Wood Elf team. It just maybe looks a little bit worse compared to the ridiculous 1900 Wood Elf teams we've seen tonight.
Yep. And then we have all orc and no play with their 5 line orcs with 0 SPP.
Orc.
Yes, indeed. Plus move and blitzer, pretty nice. Sometimes you skip it, but where it's not, it's where it's coming pretty late, you're not too sad about it. You might skip it on the first few levels, but where you've already got a super amazing ball carrier, rolling agi first is the dream for blitzers because then a double to get blodge
or agi again.
Tackle is weird, as we've always said, but it gives him kind of a dual utility. But the agi 4 blodge sure hands ball carrier is amazing.
Yeah, and then we had a movement blitzer. He'll definitely probably pick up guard next unless you can get blodge. Movement 7 to put guard wherever you want is certainly nice, and it's also a good handoff option to help you score a bit faster. But guard is great there. And then we've got a really good support piece with mighty blow, tackle, guard, stand firm. We don't have any serious killer. There's no mighty blow piling on piece anywhere, but you don't necessarily need that if you're going to play the heavy control game, which it looks like he is with this much guard.
These are pitch control orcs for sure. Skipped piling on for guard and then skipped it again for stand firm.
Yep.
This is an orc team that doesn't care if it kills you; it just wins the game.
Yep. It's just going to utilize its guard and its strength and its movement and its good ball carrier to keep you away from the ball carrier and then score. And it's going to win a lot of games like 1-0 or 2-1 or what have you. But
this is it'll be a tough team for you to face, Jeff. I think.
Three tackle, a lot of guard. So he's going to be able to protect his ball pretty well. Like he can put a guard on every corner if he wants, so the cage dives become a lot less easy. But yeah,
and then he's got agi for sure hands, so it's not like you're really going to pin him down very easily. Yeah.
Nope. And then all of the Black Orcs have block, and 2 of them have guard. One of them is even strength 5. So these are like all the SPP is in places you want. It's nicely spread out between the Blitzers and the Black Orcs. It's not too heavily concentrated in just the Blitzers, which sometimes happens with Orcs. Another good team that I wouldn't really want to play against.
It is not surprising that they are 11-4-2 over their lifetime. They've only given up 2 losses.
Yep, and one of those has been in this season so far. So shall we go for next week?
Sure. It looks like Unseen Walker has already played the Fogmire Fen Beasts.
So I'll take a look at the leaderboard real quick. So
sure.
Unseen Walker is 3-1-1. So he has already played the Fogmire Fen Beasts.
Oh, it's exactly like the other team. The other division also had someone who was 3-1-1, Galactic, because they had just lost their game because they were the only team that had played early.
Yep.
Our divisions are perfectly mirrored.
So he's currently at the top, but My Stays could steal that with a win. Average Race Joes could steal that with a win. Dead Wrestlers could steal that with a win. So the top spot is still in contention between these 4 teams for this week. And then we got a bunch of 2-win teams that are capable of jumping into the top 3 pretty easily with a win from any of them. So we are still early, still a lot of movement that can occur here. For next week, so all orc, no play, and foul targets. So that orc team versus Jeff.
What do you think?
I think orcs. Sorry, Jeff, man, but I think the guard and the shore hands, blodge, ball carrier are going to make it so that it's going to be difficult for you to do wood elf nonsense on defense. And then when you're on offense, he's got like the tackle pieces capable of doing some harm. It's not.
Jeff gets 70 times 210k of. He doesn't even get inducements.
Yeah. I think I want to give it to orcs mostly because this orc team is very built around control, and it's going to be hard for you to defend against them. I think, right? They have the tools to push you out of the way and then not be stripped by the war dancer, basically. It's not impossible, certainly, but I think the defensive part of the game for you is going to be really, really hard. And, if you just go 1-for-1 touchdowns with orcs, they will probably win because of attrition in the long run, right? I think the defense is just going to be really difficult. So you're going to either have to hope he makes a mistake or get lucky a little bit on the defense portion of it.
Yep, and then we have a lizard mirror with Dranar down one of his guard pieces, which is unfortunate. But he's playing against Furril, who has
0 source levels.
0 source levels. Well, not 0. He's 3, but none of them are guard.
I mean, I think I have to give this to Dead Wrestlers. Just like in a lizard matchup, a lizard mirror, like the Saurus makes such a big difference, and no leveled Saurus versus leveled Saurus is kind of an advantage, So I'm gonna go with Dead Wrestlers here.
So the only thing Furril has going for him is he exactly has 250k of inducements, which is exactly Slipwood.
That's true.
Which is a big deal.
But it's one. It's still just one Saurus. I mean, Slibbly is really good.
That's 7 Saurus to 5. Like that does make a big difference.
Not very little block though.
Yes, I think I'm still going to give it to Dranar, but that could tip things.
Fogmire Fen Beasts and Rage Dwarf has already happened. Hufflepuff Heroes and the Average Race Joes. We got the 1720 Khemri, and we've got Average Races Lizards.
Khemri do not traditionally fare well against lizards.
No. It's a Khemri team. It's like a little bit of a weird Khemri team. because of all the the skills and stuff. Traditionally, lizards are good against Khemri, and this is just a solid lizard team. I want to give this to Average Rice and the Lizards.
Agreed.
Although my heart goes out to Ugambino, the Hufflepuff heroes. Man, this team is amazing, and I love them so much, and I'd love to see them win. But in the spirit of winning the game, where I need points to beat Shadorra with, I think I want to pick the Lizards.
Then we have the Norse from
Eisenmike.
Eisenmike versus the Vampires.
Norse.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I mean,
the Vamps only have 3 Vamps. Yeah, no, you're right. The Vamps have a really limited bench. The Norse are just gonna use this as a game to hopefully rebuild a little bit.
Yeah.
Never mind. His team. This isn't the broken Norse. This is the pretty okay Norse.
It is going to be hard. It's not going to the lizard off is going to be hard. I don't think it's super cut and dry, I guess, especially because Slibley is really good. But I mean, just in any mirror matchup, the team I'm just inclined to go with the team that has the better skilled key players, and the Dead Wrestler Society has that. Yeah, especially since the Vamps are going to go to
a great skilled player is
Slibley. That's 1 compared to 5.
Slibley is a beast.
Even especially once you add the potential buying of thralls or whatever, that Vamp team is going to go to 15 20, so it's not even going to get a ton of inducements. It's not enough for Cheney or whatever. I don't even know if Vamps can get Cheney. I think they can, right?
I don't know.
But these Norse are block everywhere. The Vamps only have block on 3 Vamps. There's several Mighty Blow. There's a bunch of blodge, and I don't even think there's any tackle on the Vamp team. No, there's none. It's going to be a Vamps. You can't count out Vamps. Stunty teams can sometimes pull off nonsense with weird Agi 4 plays or Hypnogaze or whatever. But I think the Vamps are just going to break to the Norse here. They're down. They have. We said when we reviewed the team, their next game was going to be a rough one, and their next game is against Norse, which makes it extra rough.
So then we have Chorf versus MyStays. This is going to be an interesting game. Yeah. I want to watch it, but we've already watched one of MyStays' game. We might watch it anyway. Are these 2 at the top of the leaderboard?
MyStays certainly is. It's Ragedorf, MyStays.
Mr. J is in 5th, but could easily be at the top. Yeah.
1850, 1790. He's gonna buy a lineman, which will put him at 1860.
They're basically even.
Yeah,
TV,
so they're even.
The Chorfs are at 1830, I think. Because they're at 770,000.
It's not going to be an easy matchup for MyStays. I think MyStays will win, but only if he's willing to spend his players' lives to do so.
It's worth noting that MyStays has no sure hands, and is about to face a strip ball bull that will possibly do work.
That is true. I forgot about the strip ball bull.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, he's almost certainly always going to try to keep the ball carrier out of range of the bull. I mean, that's the standard Wood Elf MO, but sometimes things don't always go to plan according to plan.
I still stand by my statement that if MyStays is willing to spend the lives of his players, he will win this game. But he'll probably win, but he'll also probably lose some Wood Elves.
Yeah, the fact that the Chorfs have 0 sure hands means that I feel like the Wood Elves will win, but yeah, right? they might come get some attrition.
It depends on how aggressive MyStays feels like playing, right? If he wanted to be conservative, he probably won't win, but he'd also save his players. If he wants to play super aggressive Wood Elf nonsense, he'll probably win, but he'll probably also lose players. So it's up to him and how he feels like playing that. But I think I want to give that to MyStays.
All right, we'll both give it to MyStays, and then hopefully he won't get dwarfed.
Respectable Gents and the Bad QB Squad. So we've got the Underworld, and we've got
versus the Chaos.
Yeah. 50.
What do you think, Ben? Or we have to predict something different on this because we haven't had a contentious point yet.
Fair enough. I don't know, man. Chaos.
All right, then I wanted to back the Underworld, especially as they get 250k inducements. Excellent.
I didn't mean to back out of the division there. Like, yeah, the 250k inducements is good. The piling on Mighty Blow Claw Skaven Blitzer is certainly good. Respectable Gents has surprised me in the past with how well they've managed to do with their like weird movement chaos. It's not easy, and I would not be surprised if the Underworld won it. But if I think I had to pick one, I'm
cool. You pick Chaos. That's the week done.
All right. I guess that's it. I will bring us back up to the title screen, I suppose. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys.
Hold on. Tally up the sweet points for this week.
I mean, okay. Oh, we're going to announce what our current scores are.
They need to hear it live.
Okay, it was 29-15 as of last week. So let's see.
I got 26 points and you got 10.
Wow, that's pretty serious.
Fuck you.
That's a lot. That's more. That's like almost double your total score currently.
Excellent. What are the totals now?
So you got 26. You said.
Yeah, I got 26 and you got 10.
So you're at 41 and I'm at 39.
Oh, sweet! It brought us neck and neck. That's way more dramatic.
Yeah, it's more exciting.
I like that. I needed a 4-win swing to get this.
you needed to like over double your points, and to bring us within 2. But it makes it more exciting, which is kind of cool. But most of our ones this week are pretty much the same, so we're not going to go too much out of it, will you? Or will we? I don't have any picks for playoffs right now. I think it's too early to figure that out.
I'll tell you what. At halfway, Ben and I will both make our picks, and we'll make up some kind of bonus points scheme for that.
Like halfway? Do you mean week 6 or week 7?
Week 7, because week 6 is too close.
Okay. It gives me time to do my simulations. Although it's going to be not very accurate only halfway through. They normally make a lot more sense when you're at like week 10 or so.
Yeah, you're going to think about this and like look at who has buys and stuff, and I'm just going to pick randomly.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so I've been streaming for 6 hours, so we're going to stop here. That's been us for this week. We'll see you next week for week 6, or whatever next week is, week 6. Until then, we'll see you next time. I've been Steakmittens.
And I'm Shadorra.